So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
Megan from VEXED.
And we're going to answer some questions today about their upcoming album, Negative Energy. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Thank you. Yeah, really good. Surprisingly good. I think being in a band, you always prepare yourself for the worst because internet trolls are the worst. But it's actually been really good. So a pleasant surprise, and yeah, really happy about it because we're incredibly proud of this one.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
The fucking album is incredible.
Dude, it goes so
you.
hard. Yeah.
Yay! Thank you so much.
What kind of put you guys on my radar was your press team sending over one of your singles, and then after that, like, I saw a shit ton of people talking about you on Twitter. All of a sudden, I was like, it's all I like couldn't escape you guys. I was like, holy shit, everywhere.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good,
grateful.
Man.
It's mad how that happens. Like when Twitter picks something up and it's just like there constantly. But I never see us on Twitter, if that makes sense. So that's good to know that we're out there somewhere.
You're floating around there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
So there's quite a lot, to be honest. And like sometimes I feel like people might find it a bit cringe if you're like, oh yeah, it's a very deep meaning and blah, blah, blah. But the whole like vibe of the album is just negative, to be honest. It's us just sort of letting out all the bad stuff that's happened for the past couple of years. If I had to give it a theme, I would say it would be sort of grief and the process of grieving. And when you're going through that, you know, we didn't have any positivity in us at all. So instead of putting our positive energy into it, we had to put our negative energy into the music because that was the only way that we could write the album. So that's where the song title came from. And then the artwork, I've been obsessed with like 3D art for quite a while now. It's just, I follow so many Instagrammers that artists that do it. And it's so cool. So I knew I wanted to do like a 3D. And then, the whole dragonfly with the lollipop concept came from like the dragonfly is often an animal or insect used to represent grief or the loss of a loved one. And so we use the dragonfly, and then the lollipop kind of represents carrying around the grief or the mental health sort of struggles that we carry after we lose a loved one. And it's kind of like, you know, it looks really cute and it's quite a nice picture, but the reality is that the dragonfly is stuck to the lollipop. It can't put it down. Mm-hmm. So it either has to just carry it around with it all the time, or ultimately to get off, rip its legs off and die, which is quite dark. But you know, that's kind of the meaning, I suppose, behind the artwork is things aren't always as good as they seem on the surface.
All right, that makes sense. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Oh, it was all over the place. Like we would meet up once a week to have writing sessions, and for a long time, I'm talking like almost a year, we couldn't get anything done. Obviously, like I said, we were all going through some really difficult times, and so trying to find any inspiration where we were like trying to put a positive spin or like a lesson to like what we'd been through or something was pretty much impossible. And so we were spending this sort of year trying to write things are terrible, but you know, we've learned this lesson from it kind of thing. Mm-hmm. We just couldn't do it. Like life just isn't that simple sometimes it is just crap, and you just have to embrace the fact that it's terrible. And after sort of about a year, we scrapped everything that we'd done and just sat down and were honest with each other as like a group of friends and just said, you know, none of us were okay. We're all really struggling. Let's just write about the reality of us not being okay. And as soon as we kind of let go of that needing to control the positivity narrative, the album was done within 3 months. It was so fast. Yeah, we did it in 3 months. So yeah, it goes to show that when you're sort of not 100% being authentically yourself, that's the biggest obstacle that you have, you know. So yeah, that was the writing process. It was a long one, but then when it got to it, not long at all.
No.
It's crazy how like that heart to heart conversation that you guys all had just like cracked the entire thing open, and it was just like, well, now the juices are flowing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, sometimes you don't want to be vulnerable with people because we all like to put a brave face on, even people closest to us, you know, you want to try and remain strong for people and pretend you're this tough nut that can take anything. But ultimately, you're just the one that ends up suffering if you do that. So, yeah, it got to that point where we were all individually so exhausted from trying to pretend to be okay that we were just like, oh, we can't anymore.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. Things aren't good. And yeah, then it just came pouring out.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. So it kind of seems like just when you guys kind of cracked it open, it turned into almost like a group therapy session kind of.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. It was very much the vibe.
I love that. It's awesome. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Oh, that's tricky. I think Anti-Fetish was the last one that we sort of tied up while recording. That first riff was something completely different when we first started writing it, and we were never really happy with it. It was something really, really boring, to be honest. And we were just like a couple of like weeks into, you know, writing it and getting it sort of tracked, and we just kept saying, oh, it's missing something, it's missing something. And it wasn't till like the last week of recording where I'd done all my vocals and we went back to it and we were like, this is just still not good enough. And so I was just like, get that whammy out, like get the weird noises out. Let's make a better riff. And we came up with the silly wow wow noises. And we were like, okay, cool, yeah, that's it. We're finally done. So I think Anti-Fetish was the longest one musically. Lyrically, It's Not the End was the last one I did because I put it off for a long, long time. But overall, my favorite one, I don't know. I love them all so much, which is again very cringe, but we're really proud of it. So at the moment, Hope to Die is my favorite one, I think.
Hell yeah. All right. So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, close a big closer, just shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
It was really difficult trying to get the order. Our producer, bless him, he like always gives us suggestions, and then we'll kind of think it through. But we wanted it to kind of be like chronologically correct, but at the same time, it needs to flow. So we always like to start on a bang and end on a bang. So we were going to end the album on It's Not the End, and then we were like, we don't want to ruin everyone's day. Like we got to end it on something heavy. So yeah, that's when we sorry, I've got a dog walking in and out the room. Yeah, so then we were like, you know what, let's just put nepotism in at the end. And yeah, I think we've done a good job. I think it's always really hard because again, it's always subjective how people like albums to flow. But we're really happy with it. I think we did an okay job with that.
I think so too.
Yeah, and that opener just catches your attention immediately.
Oh, really?
It was crazy to me because it's not at all what I expected when I clicked into it. So you definitely,
oh wow,
yeah, you hooked me with that one for sure.
Thank you, because we were a bit worried about how that would go down, honestly, because it is quite different to something we've done. So that's really cool. That's really cool to know.
Oh yeah.
So you already went into it a little bit earlier, but if you want, you could go a bit more in depth. Are you able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
It was everywhere. I just lost a parent, and the other boys had lost members of their like very, very close family as well. And I think when you become an adult and then you lose a parent and you realize, oh crap, I'm alone now. Like I have to do stuff for myself. It's really scary. And like when you have that parent there and you know you can go off and make stupid mistakes and they'll always fix it for you. And then suddenly they're gone and you're like, ah, shit, I can't make mistakes anymore. I have to adult. And
Yeah.
so it was very isolating and scary, and just kind of didn't know how to navigate myself. None of us did. You know, we'd always had those core people in our lives who would say, this is what you need to do and this is what you need to say. And suddenly it was like, oh, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know how to tax my car. I don't know how to, you know, do just simple things. And everything was very, very overwhelming. But then again, it took that conversation of just us being very honest with each other and saying that none of us were okay to actually make things so much better. Because I'm very much the kind of person that always tries to make people laugh and put on a smile and a brave face when people are sad. But I just couldn't do it. I had a complete emotional breakdown and just was just not myself at all. And so again, just opening up and telling them I wasn't okay. And the boys were like, yeah, we're not okay either. Let's just talk about that. That was just our therapy. And I think it was the best thing for us to do in retrospect. Like, we were getting a lot of pressure from our label and from management to get an album done, which is fair enough, you know. But it seemed impossible. So when the second we were just like, yeah, we can't do this, everything sucks, and we're really struggling, we suddenly could do it. It was really strange. So yeah, Headspace was absolutely awful until we were honest with each other. And then we really did find a strength in it, for sure.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I'm also very proud of you for being able to just flat out say, hey, I'm not doing okay, and kind of opening that conversation with the rest of your bandmates to kind of, for everyone to relate to that and be like, yeah, none of us are thriving right now.
Yeah.
Because that is a huge step, just to admit that you're not doing okay. So I'm very proud of you for that.
Thank
and
you.
I'm happy that you all had each other to kind of lean on each other while you're going through that, because that's very tough.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm very lucky that the boys and we're all so close, like stupidly close. It's quite funny. But I'm really proud of them because I know the stigma behind, you know, guys talking about how they feel, and that as well, you know, them opening up and just being like, yeah, we're not okay. Al our bassist decided to take a step back because he was struggling so much. So he found that he couldn't carry on with the writing. He needed to take a step away from band. And then when he felt like he was okay again, he'd come back. So he's back now and he's doing really well. And it's really, really nice to play live shows with him and stuff because he's himself again. But yeah, just that raw honesty. It's scary, but as soon as you've done it, it just makes things so much easier.
Absolutely. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I think listen to half of it with your friends, and then the second half, don't. I had a text from Jay, our guitarist's mum, and she was like, I've just listened to It's Not the End and I cried. And then I had another text from another friend and they were like, I've just cried. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm ruining everybody's day. But no, I think just go into it enjoying it, you know. I think so many people are overly critical of music nowadays. Like, you don't have to try and reinvent the wheel with music, in my opinion. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. And that's what it should just be about. You know, people overanalyze everything and you know, just inspect every note and every decision you've made. And you're like, oh, did you enjoy it though? Did you have fun listening to it? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Oh, God. Okay. Honest, relentless, and heartbreaking, I think.
Nice. All right. So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I think just the feeling of you're not alone, and that can come across as very like not sincere, and it can come across as like a very blanket statement that a lot of people say, but I genuinely mean it. Like the fact that so many people, everybody at some point in their life will lose somebody who's close to them. And in those moments, you feel so alone and you don't know what to do. And I just want people to know that, like, what you're going through, it will pass and you're not alone. And there are other people out there who know exactly what you're going through. And yeah, just a sense of like, not community, but just, yeah, a sense of togetherness and like a family, I suppose.
All right.
I love that. So, are you able to talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Ooh. So, when we were going into the studio to do vocals, I'm really harsh on myself. Like, if I don't sound good, I'll be like, right, that's it. I'm stopping for today. I'll come back another day. Like, I'm very overly critical. But I think that comes from being a woman in the industry, because you have, no matter what aspect of it you do, you just get looked at with a magnifying glass.
Yep.
Yeah, you feel me. And so you just have this like overwhelming sense of, I have to get this right. This has to be perfect. And this time round, I just went into the studio with a completely different attitude of just, I don't care. I don't care. And I think that for me was a huge breakthrough, because first couple of days I did have like those moments of, oh my God, it's not going to be good enough. You know, I'm just going to get compared to X, Y, and Z. And then I was like, actually, I just don't care anymore. Let's just do what I like. And I think that was like just a huge thing for me, just letting go of what people think. And again, it just created this safe space of just writing music for the sake of writing music and enjoying it and having fun and just being authentically myself. And in that way, we just made the best music possible, really, for us anyway. We're really proud of it.
Hell yeah. And you mentioned like being a woman, like in metal and just in music in general, you're put under this microscope. So like, are you one that reads the comments and like sees all the bullshit, or do you try to stay out of the comment section as much as possible?
I stay out of it, to be honest, most of the time. Sometimes I'll see things, but I've gotten to the point now where I do find it really funny, and like I've gotten a really thick skin now. Like, I've had some horrific things said to me, but if I see them, I'll go stalk the person's Facebook profile and screen grab their pictures and send them to the group chat and be like, look at this idiot, and we have a laugh.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this loser.
Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, we don't post it online for other people to see, but if someone's being an ass to you, you have the right to take the mick out of them in your group chat with your friends. So yeah, that's what we do. And but honestly, we just have a laugh with it. With this album campaign, like, it's been really good. There hasn't been a huge amount of comparison, which is nice. But then last night, I was reading a review somebody did of the album, because I like to read reviews. I think that's always quite interesting to see how other people perceive the music. But at the end, it was quite a good review. And then at the end, it was like, for fans of, and it listed 5 different female fronted bands who sound nothing alike. And they may as well have just said Paramore, Ginger, Evanescence, like completely like different. And I was just and I was just like,
you were like, you had me until then.
Yeah, you just ruined it. Like,
did you even listen to it?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's always going to happen, but I don't know, you've either got to laugh or you will literally cry.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Oh God, I'm just like, I have the sweetest tooth ever. And also I just binge eat crappy foods all the time and then wonder why, like, my jog sweatpants don't fit me anymore. So um I would probably pick up multiple things. But I'll always be grabbing a Monster Energy because I'm a proper grebo emo. And then what would I get? Probably some massive chocolate bar or a packet of chili heat wave Doritos. That would be my thing.
That sounds scrumptious.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What would you get?
I'm big on the dill pickle Lay's potato chips.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are good.
Yeah. And then when it's the correct season, a Sprite cranberry. If not, during the summer, they put the Mountain Dew Baja Blast in the bottle. I go for that too.
We don't get that over here. Oh, that sounds amazing.
Gotta come over here, man. We got the good stuff.
Yeah.
It will clog your arteries, though. It might kill you, but it tastes good.
I can smuggle you over some like Kinder Eggs or Skittles or something.
Yeah, our Kinder Eggs are just like, it's just like two halves, and one has the toy in it, and then the other one has just like cream in it, because apparently our kids are too dumb to like not eat the toy inside of the chocolate egg. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with that.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah. But mine is probably just because it's off the top of my head, I want to say the fucking protein fucking Pop-Tarts. I don't know. We spoke to Andy from Crown the Empire, and ever since he told me about those, I need to find them.
I didn't know they do them. Oh my god.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, is it good? What's the texture like? Are the flavors are they the same as like the regular ones? Like, what's up with that? I don't know. It's such a mystery to me.
It's funny because over here we have like American sweets section in all our shops. And so like it's so cool because we'll get like a different rotation of sweets each month. And today I saw the s'mores Pop-Tarts.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that looks so good. I almost bought it, but I didn't, because I was like, I've got to try and be good. I've got to try and not get like, I don't know, diabetes before I'm 30. So like,
you eat enough of the American food, you're on track for that, you know.
So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh god, I think we'd have to be something with a bit of an acquired taste, something that everybody like. So because we're like female fronted in quotations, it would have to be something that like everybody would say, oh, it's exactly the same, it's no different. So probably, let's say, I would say a pizza, and then, but it would be the toppings that make us different and controversial, I think.
Okay.
So I'm not into a pineapple pizza, but I do really like something spicy. So maybe we're like a jalapeno pepper pizza, something like that.
Ooh.
You're either gonna love it or hate it.
That sounds really good.
Sounds good.
Really good.
So for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Sorry, say that again.
All right. Last meal, you're on death row. Last meal with a drink.
Okay. Oh god. Okay. Funnily enough, we talk about this quite a lot. And my answer changes depending on the day, but I would probably have something really, really English and have like a roast dinner. So I'd probably have like giant Yorkshire puddings, mashed potato, roast potatoes, carrots, gravy, all that good stuff. And then probably just a cup of tea.
Sounds good. All right.
Yeah, very English and boring, but yeah, you can't really go wrong. What about you guys?
Big bowl of spaghetti, and once again a Sprite cranberry.
Bro is sponsored by Sprite Cranberry. Oh my god. Mine. Damn, I've been eating a lot of good food recently. I don't know. I'd probably ask my mom to make like some pastelillos, which is like, it's an empanada with ground turkey and like oh my god, potato and olives in it. Usually served with like a side of like rice and stuff. Scrumptious, absolutely delicious. And then with that, I don't know. I really like water now. So water is what
That's
I
good.
Cool.
I wish I was like that. Oh my God.
Dude, I'm trying. This is like the first time in like 3 months that I've been like, yeah, I think I want some water today.
She's got the fucking one of those big obnoxious fucking water bottles, and she'll like
Oh,
pull
yeah.
it out
Oh,
from.
amazing.
In the
She can't even fit
interview.
on her fucking desk. It's on the floor. It's so goddamn big. She carries a lake around with her.
I do. And it's like every time I
Good.
pull it out in like an interview, I almost like fucking cry because I can see his face change. Like, dude, don't laugh. Oh, I fucking love that thing. I love it so much.
Oh God, I need to do that because like me and Willem, our drummer, we live together. We are together, and he said to me the other day, he was like, "Can you remember the last time you had a drink of water?" And I was like, "Oh my God, no!" And
Shit.
I was like, "I think it's been 3 days." And he was like, "Guess how long it's been for me?" And I was like, "I don't want like, is it going to make me annoyed?" And he was like, "2 weeks." 2 weeks. He's been living off fizzy drinks. Like, how
Oh my God.
Isn't it like 3 days without water and like
Yeah.
7 days without food you can live or something like that?
Yeah. But like the human body can't survive without liquids for 3 days.
Mhm.
So like with water.
Yeah.
So like how he's still walking around, I don't know.
It doesn't have
Makes
just
no
like
sense.
like if I don't drink water for like 2 hours, I get like the worst headache of my entire life. So how
Same.
his head's not rocking is
Yep.
beyond me.
I know. I made him drink water, so he's okay
Good.
now.
Okay, good.
Good. So, if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Oh. So I used to, when I was growing up, I was obsessed with like this series of books called The Infernal Devices, like, and The Mortal Instruments. They made it into a film, but it was terrible. It was like the worst. You know, like when Harry Potter became films and stuff like that, it was good. So like it was a win for everybody who loved the books. But when The Mortal Instruments came out as a film, it ruined it. They did the first one and they were like, this is terrible, we're not doing any more. So
Damn.
but I do love those books. So I'd probably go into that universe because it's like angels and demons and all that sort of like cringy but great stuff.
Mhm.
I'd love to have some like magic powers for the day and fight demons. That would be fun.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Black.
We'll take it.
Perfect.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Also, we have our album Negative Energy coming out on the 23rd of this month, so not long now. So yeah, if anybody wants to go listen to a woman talk, like scream in your face about how much she hates life, I highly recommend it. And just thank you to anybody who does go give it a spin. We appreciate everybody that does, even if you hate it. So thank you. And thank you for like wanting to talk to me today. It's been really fun.
Of course, this is awesome.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for now. It's been Megan from Vex, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.